A comprehensive win for Team India to kickstart our Champions Trophy campaign. I have Sandy Paji, I would submit. Welcome to the show, both of you. Mohammad Shami returned to the side after injury scare and he picked up a fifer. Shubman Gill, the prince, our vice captain, got a well deserved 100. Two wonderful things we saw. Even if you take a little bit of give credit to Tawhid Rida and Jake Ali with the partnership as well. Sum it up what you saw today, Utsav. How was the performance? Did you think that India shouldn't have allowed Bangladesh after 35 for 5 to move on to 220?
Yes, definitely. 35 for 5 at one stage, and then even after that, we kept on getting opportunities to break the partnership. Three chances that
Yeah,
were missed,
three.
once by KL Rahul, once by Hardik, and once by Rohit himself. And the Rohit one was the most painful one because it came of the hat trick ball
Hat
of
trick. Yeah.
Sarfajit. It was very painful to watch. Not just because I'm an Indian and I wanted the wicket to fall, but that was one slow partnership. Oh my God! I
Oh,
mean,
yes,
the entire
absolutely. Yeah.
afternoon went by watching these two guys just trying to find a boundary, and they just weren't even interested in trying to get one. But
Uh,
overall, yes, a clinical victory, I would say. Yes, there was. We could have handled things much more professionally, ended things much earlier. But yeah, at the end of the day, Shuman got his runs. Mohammad Shami was at his best. Even Harshit Rana got his wicket. So end of the day, two important points.
two important points without a doubt, and that puts pressure on the hosts themselves because they lost their game yesterday, which means that it's a do or die game, especially for Pakistan on Sunday at the same venue. But Sandy Paji, you know Shubman Gill so well. How important was that knock? Because he is looking in some touch, I must tell you, in 2025.
Yes, and we watched a lot of him train at Mali, before the tournament, and just the timing was just exceptional. We knew he was going to make some damage. Then comes the England series. He does very well in that, and now we've got this solid opening partnership. I know a lot of fans were upset that Yashashvi wasn't going to be there, but again, Shubman Gill is on form, and we saw Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill, set it up, and then I'm very happy that the game was elongated because it means that we won. We get in some practice on the wicket, which you cannot beat at the start of this thing, and there's things to improve. So when we win by 100 runs and 30 overs,
Correct.
there's nothing positive to take out of that because people will just say Bangladesh were not great. But again, being accustomed to Dubai, the situation, everything worked well, and it puts us in good stead against for the Sunday because if we win that game, we know we will virtually be there, and then that's all we need to do: qualify, and then let the semi-finals and the finals go, and then bring the cup home. But I'm really
Absolutely.
confident.
I think I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think India have a wonderful chance considering that their arch rivals is in terms of quality. I'm not talking about Pakistan, it's Australia. And Australia have a broken squad, to be honest. So that is the reason why I'm saying India have a very good chance of winning the Champions Trophy this time around. But a little bit of few things I wanted to ask you, Paji. Firstly, asking you, after 35 for 5, India, though dropped two catches and a stumping, gave away three opportunities. But that phase where Utsav said very slow partnership, India did not manage to get a wicket. So is
Yeah.
that phase a concerning one for India? Or secondly, you will say that it's giving credit to the opponent the way they played and they had to grind out there and keep the scoreboard ticket. And secondly, it's spin again for Team India. It's leg spin again for Virat Kohli that does the trick. The promotion up the order for Akshar Patel does not work out this time around, which is the ideal position for somebody like KL Rahul.
I think KL comes in front of Akshar. He has to come in now. He's got the batting behind him today, so we know some form is there. And again, the India is too good. They've got too many options in the 15 squad, not just the 11, the 15 squad. And that's where the difference is between this team and the other teams, and especially like someone like Australia is decimated. We don't know what we're going to get with the players that are going to come in. We kind of know what will happen. And again, I'm pro Ashdeep, as everybody knows. Could Ashdeep come back and get the wickets in that time? Left arms, something different. And I think that's where we know. And the Dubai wickets, we've got to get used to them. And
Yep.
the next match will be on a fresh wicket, and we can see what happens on that. But I think that's where we can tinker. And Hardik didn't bowl as much today. So maybe that's something that we might think. Because Pakistan, you want the blower. You don't want to give them any room to do anything because, we know
100%.
down, they're probably more dangerous than any other team.
Absolutely, 100%. You never know which Pakistan will turn up. But Utsav, final question before we move on to the next game. That is, Baji said about Arshdeep Singh a little bit also. So if Arshdeep Singh, I was very shocked that Arshdeep Singh was not in the 11 today. They win with Harshid Rana. Your thoughts? Should Arshdeep Singh come back into the side versus Pakistan? If yes, in place of whom?
Yes, I think he should come into the playing 11. I think not just you. I think all of us were shocked. I think all of us were expecting
Absolutely.
Arjun to start. But if we look at the series prior to this Champions Trophy, all the three matches Harshit Rana was a part of it. So I think Harshit Rana is very much in the plans of Gautam Gambhir. I think that is very clear by now. He has debuted in all the formats of the game,
All the
and
formats, yeah.
literally every single opportunity that comes our way, Gautam Gambhir puts Harshit Rana out there. So as much as I want Arshdeep to start, I honestly do not see him starting because we do not see that very often that India starts with the playing 11, and if there is no immediate changes required, we do not often tend to change
They're
them. So
expecting
I
the same plannings when it comes to
yes.
with the what we had in 2023.
Um, in 2023, we had three fast bowlers. We had Harshit, we
No, no, I'm
had
talking
Siraj,
about
Bumrah, and
making team changes.
oh yeah. I honestly do not see there will be any changes until and unless there are a few injuries which aren't there as of now.
Yeah.
So I honestly do not see Arshdeep starting as much as I want him to start.
Okay, so you're not expecting Arshdeep Singh to start because it was a very good display from Mohammad Shami and Harshid Rana. No doubt, Mohammad Shami picked up a 5 wicket haul. Harshid Rana was also impressive. But moving on to the next game, tomorrow's game, we return back to Karachi. It's South Africa versus Afghanistan. The first game in that group as well, Sandy Paji. First of all, let's take a look into the head-to-head between these two teams. 2-3 in terms of Proteas in Champions trophies. Paji, now we keep that aside and say if Afghanistan win, it's not an upset anymore. They are very, very good quality side. Karachi was a stadium where Pakistan hosted the first game, lost to New Zealand. We might say Babar Azam played one of his slowest knocks ever. They lost at their own soil, but now it's time for Afghanistan versus South Africa. You had a look into that game. What's your thought? What should the teams do in terms of planning?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult. Very difficult call. Afghanistan, they're coming in this with a lot of confidence. A lot of the players are in good form, and they've got household names now. South Africa, on the other hand, with Temba Bavuma recently, batting really well. I think the team that gets the runs on the board will definitely win. And I think 300 is a must. If you bat first, you've got to get 300. But again, I think the strength of Afghanistan in the spin department, and if it is turning there in Karachi, that might give them a slight advantage because with Noor possibly playing, Rashid playing, Nabi in the team, they're pretty stacked in that department, and they got Fazl Faruqi, and they've got Azam Tella. So I think they've got a very, very strong bowling ball, and they've got good at the top. Their middle order has to score the runs. If the middle order can
Yeah.
score the runs, get them to 300, then they've got a chance. Because I don't think Afghanistan have ever got over 300 in a ODI international. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But the team that bats first gets the runs on the board. I think they will start as favourites.
Just like Rohan said right now, if Afghanistan batting clicks, the spinners can trouble South Africa in the second innings. But you said about everything. You said about the middle order. Their middle order has experience. Nabi, Kulbadim Naib, Shahidi. I was stunned, just like I was stunned for Arshdeep Singh. Similarly, I was stunned that Bangladesh did not go for the experienced campaigner Mamadullah into the side. I was very surprised that they did not go for Mamadullah. He was in the warming the bench. But Utsav, talking about Afghanistan, how massive of a blow will Ghazanfar, who's not in the side anymore, how massive of a blow it will be. But do you think that it's a very good opportunity for somebody like a Noor Ahmed?
Yes, I think it is a huge opportunity for Noor Ahmed. I remember back in the day, 2023 World Cup, he was a part of the squad, but he was not getting regular chances. And I just knew it that it is in the back of the mind of the captain. I think Rashid Khan was the captain in the 2023 World Cup. That he is going to play Noor Ahmed against Pakistan. It is the biggest contest, and he is going to unleash him there. And that is what happened. And ended up taking a couple of wickets or 3 wickets there. So I think it is a perfect opportunity for Noor Ahmed to play for Afghanistan in the Champions Trophy. Having said that, I totally agree with all of your points, and I think it is the hard and fast rule that Afghanistan are the most orthodox ODI cricketing side. They are very heavy up top, and then the batting just keeps on getting weaker and weaker and weaker. Spin bowling is of course their cheat code to winning games.
Mhm.
But over the years, their pace bowling has also gotten much better with the likes of Fazal Faruqi in there, Razmatullah Omarzai in there. Even Naveed Zadran is a pretty decent, uh,
Correct.
new face coming up. Uh, all in all, if Afghanistan bat first and get to a score around 250, 260 in a pitch like what we saw against what we saw in the first game, then it might be very tricky for South Africa.
Absolutely. Okay, so you're saying it might be very tricky if Afghanistan get to a competitive total. That's like he's saying, yes, I agree with him. Hasbundullah Shahidi was the captain in 2023 World Cup. We can't forget that game versus Australia where he had a leading edge at cover and he couldn't take the catch of Glenn Maxwell. He was the captain. But yes, we come out to this. Afghanistan, if they bat first, get runs on the board, can be lethal. But what about the pitch? What does it play at Karachi? Here is the statistics. When it comes to statistics at this venue, 79 matches have been played, Paji. 37 matches have been won batting first, 39 have been won by chasing. I would like to ask you, looking into the first game, you saw New Zealand were asked to bat first and they ended up scoring good amount of runs, scored 110 plus runs in the last 10 overs. Will that be the same ploy for Afghanistan or should both teams focus on batting first, put runs on the board and then defend the total under the lights?
I think I think my one thing about Afghanistan is what happens when it gets really, really tight in the match. I think that's going to be very good. So if I was the captain of Afghanistan, I would say I would rather bat first, get the score on the board, and then bowl. Because I think, again, we said the middle order, it looks good on paper, but as Ustav said, it gets weaker and weaker and weaker. So
Correct.
unless they can really, if they have to take risks with the batting second, I think that's when they probably struggle more. So I would think my strategy would be to bat first, get a competitive total, and then you can mix and match your bowling according to one, the conditions, and
Mhm.
secondly, who's batting. Because South Africa look dangerous with some of their batting, but again, the form of them, have they got the depth? Have they got the acceleration? Then we know Travis. We know some of the players can be really, really explosive. But again, you go down their batting order, it does get weaker and weaker and weaker. So I think for both,
Correct.
bowling might be the strength, but I would definitely want to bat first, put the pressure on from day one, and then use the bowling as your main tool for either side.
I would just disagree in one point you mentioned out here when it comes to the bowling of South Africa. I understand the spinners are good. Maharaj is there. Markram can be part time. Shamsi is there. But just KG Rabada for the seamers. No Nandri Burger. No Henrik Nokia. That is where I think they will struggle big time. They're still going with Lungi and Gidi. They've gotten Corbin Bosch as well. That's not going to work if you have to win ICC tournaments. And I think that might just be the struggle in flat tracks at Karachi. In the middle overs, coming in second spells and third spells, Afghanistan batters might just target the other seamers apart from KG Rabada. But talking about the two leaders, and let's talk about the two captains, starting with Afghanistan's. Utsav, it's talking about Hazmatullah Shahidi, who's going to lead the side once again in an ICC tournament. His batting, his strike rate is the biggest concern. And we have seen that in the first game. Babar Azam playing so many defensive shots, not getting a move on, and ending up costing his side a game match as well. how important will be rotating strike in the middle phase for somebody like Hasbatullah Shahid who walks at number 4 or maybe at number 5?
Yes, I think when we talk about Afghanistan, I think we should keep the stats away, the strike rate, the averages, all of those things should be kept away, because this is probably the only team which plays with all the passion and
Correct.
not the match which you play against Afghanistan doesn't normally go the normal route of what a normal cricket game goes through. Uh,
Absolutely.
so I think more of I think Shahidi is on the side more as a captain, and that's because the team listens to him. And Shahidi is like you can actually call him ancient, considering he has been the part of the Afghanistan cricket side for the very long time.
Very
We
long
talk
time,
about
yeah.
Mohammad Nabi beating 46 countries, even he would have beaten 30 odd. We just have to research that. So I think more of a batter. I think his batting is not even a point of concern, because he is in the side just because of his captaincy prowess, and even if he does poorly, I don't think that is going to be criticized. The players apart from him who are going to fill up the rest of the playing 11 have to up their game, just so that you can uh, cover up what the lower strike that he carries.
Okay, so you're saying that they play with emotions, 100% agreed, but they somehow that is where Afghanistan are also dangerous. Which Afghanistan turns up, we don't know, but more or less we have an expectation that if they get a competitive total, the spinners might just rattle through the South African batting order or any opponent batting order. Sandy Paji, moving on to the opponent skipper, and here it is. When I had this man's picture on the screen, immediately I see a smile on your face. I will not say anything further, but it's Temba Bavuma is leading the side once again. He had a wonderful last 6 to 8 months, I can say, as a captain, taking his side to a World Test Championship final. Will face against Australia, but as an ODI captain, he's opening the batting order, but Makram has been there. Makram has been a successful captain, this time not being able to take his side into an SC T20 final or winning it as well. But your thoughts on Temba Bavuma, the captain first and then the batter?
Uh, I don't know. If I've got Markram in my team, Markram captains for me over Temba. And to be fair, Temba has had his eyesight sorted. So since that's come in, his batting has improved. And I now think that he does deserve a place in the team. So would he have been in my first team 6 to 8 months ago? Probably not, because obviously the form wasn't there. The inspiration on the pitch, it doesn't seem to be there for me. I like a captain who's leading from the front, who's passionate, who can get things. Does he look like the captain to me that can, in the tough situations, make the right calls? Probably not. Is he the one that can G up the boys when they need to be G'd up? Probably not. So, as a captain, I think maybe they made a call on not cricketing reasons to make him the captain. This could be a political side on Cricket South Africa's sword, because I wouldn't be captain for me. He wouldn't be the captain. You want him, if he's opening the batting, you want him to score the runs. You don't want him the
Yeah.
burdency of captaincy, especially when you have a campaigner like Adrian Markham in the team, who is well respected by the team worldwide. As a captain, he's a good leader. So I think they made a rick on that one. But again, if his batting does bat, maybe they think the captaincy will aid that. But for me, I think it's a bad move for South Africa.
Okay, so you're still saying that Aiden Markram should be a captain if you have him in this side. Okay, but still Temba Bavuma is captain as of now. He has a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. I would say South Africa go into this tournament as underdogs, not as any favorites in that group by any means, according to me. But move on to the players to watch out for, and starting with the Afghanistan's 3 players to watch out for, Utsav. My 3 choices are Remanullah Gurbaz, Rashid Khan, and Fazalak Faruqi. Here are my 3 players I've gone with. Any changes for you?
Um, no, actually, the three players that you have picked are pretty much spot on. But if I had to if I had to change something, then probably I would change Noor for Fazal. Sorry,
I was
Fazal from
I,
Noor.
I was struggling to have Noor into the side, but I had to pick three. But I'm not sure whom. But you're saying Noor Ahmed for Fazlak Faruqi?
Yeah, because of the slower surface of the Karachi wicket that we saw in the first match that was played in the Champions Trophy, I think Noor can be a great threat, and not just Noor. Actually, any spinner that Afghanistan chooses to play here will might just have an edge.
Okay, so you're saying Noor Ahmed, Rashid Khan, and Raymond Gurbaza are your three players to watch out for. Similarly, Sandy Paji, here are my three players. I've gone for South Africa, and here they are. I've gone with Henry Klassen, Keshav Maharaj, and I've also gone with Ryan Rickleton. I think he is a perfect replica of Quinton de Kock at the top of the order. These are my three players to watch out for. Any changes, any different names from your end?
Obviously, for me, it will be Kagiso Rabada. He would have to be in my thing because at the end of the day, he's going to be the strike bowler, right? You look at the rest of the bowling attack. If Kagiso Rabada is taking wickets at the top, that's going to
Mhm.
make their bowling a lot easier. And so I think that will be one person that I would try to get in my top three. And the other one has to be David Miller. I think the fourth or fifth position for batting, his experience, especially if they need to take it home. There's a big target there. I think he's going to be really, really really important. So maybe, yeah, Rabada versus Gurbaz. I think that could be a very interesting thing. And I think that's where South Africa will win this match. They have to take two or three wickets at top and then
Mhm.
expose that middle order. When
Correct.
Shahid comes in, if he's got to bat a long time and the score is not going anywhere, that means Afghanistan aren't going to make that 280, 290 score, and they'll
Yeah.
need that to win the match.
Absolutely, that is going to be key because South Africa have the experience, have the experienced players in the lineup, but can they make it through and beat Afghanistan on the first day of their game? But here are the three players we have done out there. Now it's time for the battles, and I'll show you guys the three battles I have chosen one by one. So, Utsav, I've gone with my three players and out here and the three battles, to be honest. Kagiso Rabada versus Raymond Gurbaz is my battle number one. Rashid Khan versus Henry Klassen is my battle number two. And Noor Ahmed versus David Miller is my battle number three. Any other battles according to you? If not, which one are you definitely watching out of these three?
Actually, two of them. The first one is obviously mouth-watering. Kagis Ravada versus Ramanullah Gurbaz. It might just be the make or break kind of a spell for both the sides. Because if Gurbaz gets set along with Ibrahim Zadran, then the things might just run away for Afghanistan, and vice versa. If the openers go out early, then Afghanistan might just get
Mm,
bundled out earlier. Apart from
correct.
that, Rashid Klassen, when you talk about the best spinner of the current lot, it is obviously Rashid Khan. And then when you talk about the best players of spin in the world right now, the
Absolutely.
probably
Six
the
is
first name that
six
will come
hitting
to your
machine.
mind is
Yeah.
Henrik Klassen. Yeah, probably the first question that will come to your mind is Henrik Klassen. So this is a really mouth-watering contest, and yeah, these two are the ones which I am actually looking forward to.
Okay, Paji, anything different from your end?
Temba versus Fazarak. I think that might be
Timber
interesting.
versus Fazalak Faruqi. Okay, at the top of the
Yeah.
order, we know how good Fazalak Faruqi is with his in swingers back onto the stumps. Is that you're expecting to trapping Temba in the front pad?
Yes, I think early on Temba will struggle. If Temba gets in, if Temba wins that battle, then yeah, you could probably say that South Africa can do some damage. But I think the first 10 overs, we will probably be able to see how this match is going to go. If each team with that bats first is say three down with not a lot of runs on the score, and then that middle section where teams are a bit slower, a bit more circumstance, waiting for the last say 20 overs for them
Mhm.
to, if they got wickets in the hand, they can explode. That's going to be very interesting. So I think the first 10 overs, the two battles, we said it against Gurbaz versus Rabada, Fazal Haq versus Bavuma. I think that'll be very, very key because I say I can't really call the winner on this until I see the first innings. Once the first innings is done, I'll be easier to say this team is likely to win this game, but we don't know
Okay.
what we're going to get. And I think If South Africa had their other bowlers playing, like Nokia playing, I would say they would probably would be favourites
Yeah,
for me. But
true that.
I think it's even Stevens on this game.
Even Stevens on this game as of now, you're saying, but definitely there is a prediction section, Paji. We'll come to that, and you need to think about a percentage for sure out there. But as of now, we are focusing on the predicted playing 11 with 7, starting with the Afghanistan predicted 11, and here it is. I've gone with the 11 with Ibrahim Zadran and Remullah Gurbaz as my opener. You said about how important Gurbaz is at the top of the order. He's the only player in this Afghanistan side who can take on the bowlers and give them a good start. But the middle order, which Pazi was talking about earlier in the show, looks very experienced. You have Omar Zai, you've got Gurbadim Naib, you've got Nabi, you've got Rashid Khan batting till number 8. But then you have so many spinners. I've gone with Naveed Zadran and Faruqi are my two frontline seamers alongside Omar Zai. Looks a good 11. Any changes from your end?
Not at all. I think this is just the same 11 that almost the same 11 that played in the World Cup as well, and they did fantastic there. That is the reason they are here in the Champions Trophy. I think you don't have to change anything that is not broken, and yeah, this playing 11 might just be the one playing tomorrow.
Okay, that time they had Naveen ul Haq. This time they don't have. They have Naveed
They
Zadran.
have Namit
That's the
Raman.
only difference. So he looks to be there, and the team looks good. South African 11, Paji. Here it is. The bowling unit, as I always said, looks a little bit inexperienced, but it was a tough call from my end, leaving out somebody like a Tristan Stubbs. I had to go with Rassie van der Dusen. Your choice between these two players, and similarly, in the seaming department, Rabada, Lungi Ngiti, Marco Janssen are your three seamers. Are you confident with that?
Tristan Stubbs, I love him. I think he's such a brilliant player. And again, he's a guy that can score quick runs. He can defend as well. So that's going to be a tough call. Has Rassi van der Dussen, you know what you're going to get with him. I think so. Maybe they will stick to that batting lineup, tried and trusted format. But again, I would try to get Tristan Stubbs into that team, like I would for Afghanistan, trying to get Sadikola. I love Sadikola.
Sadiqullah Atal, wow. Okay.
I really like him as a batsman, and I think he's a lefty, young batsman. So I like maybe blessing a young gun in the team. Again, you get that lack of staleness. You get that not worrying about it. So I think maybe give the younger guy a chance, because if he plays well in the first game, then you know what you're going to get with Rassie van der Dussen. Does he score runs quick enough now? Is he coming in with form? Probably not from me. So I would probably go for Tristan Stubbs over Rassie van der Dussen, but that's a choice.
Surprised that they don't have Bretsky in the squad, because he had a wonderful try series, I must tell you.
Yes, he played really well, and yeah, a bit of argy bargy with him as well. So it's interesting to see what Shaheen Shah Afridi won't be there, so that's maybe why they didn't select him. But I think it's a good team, but I would definitely try to get Tristan Stubbs into that in that lineup. Bowling wise, they haven't got the resources. So I think they will go with a tried and trusted format. And I'm looking forward to see Marco Janssen bowl, because I think that Paul Burj Khalifa is going to be really, really good. And he's good with the bat and he's good with the ball. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they bowl. But I think Lungi could be expensive, and Rabada has to be on his top form. If Rabada is off the mark, then I can see maybe Afghanistan breaking that 300 barrier, which I think would be enough for them to win the match.
Absolutely. If they get 300 plus, it is going to be a match winning total if they bat first. Okay, so you're giving your predicted playing 11. It's time for the main event. It's time for the predictions time now, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is, time for predictions. I start with Utsav. It's a cracking game. Second game hosted at Karachi. It's Afghanistan versus South Africa tomorrow. Your percentage, please.
I wish I could say 50-50, because I just feel that the pitch favors Afghanistan a little more than South Africa, but South Africa has the experience of playing at this stage way more than what Afghanistan has. I will go with 60-40 South Africa, but I'll also say that if Afghanistan wins tomorrow, they are making it to the semifinals.
Okay, so if Afghanistan wins tomorrow, they are making it to semi-finals straight away. You're saying that either of Australia, South Africa, or England are knocking out. We'll see that.
Yes.
But 60-40, according to you, in favor of South Africa. Sandy Baji, over to you.
I'm going to favor Afghanistan. I think their spin bowling and the economy of their spin bowling is superior to South Africa's. South Africa's batting is probably more experienced than the Afghanistan in all areas. But I just think Fazal Haq Faruqi and the pace bowling of Afghanistan is better. So the better team with the better bowling attack wins for me. And I'm going to go 60-40 Afghanistan.
60-40, you are saying Afghanistan. 60-40, Utsav says South Africa. So the game is ready. It's going to be a cracking one, I must tell you, because both the guests are ready with it, and they are saying it's going to be a mouth-watering guest. Thank you so much, Paji. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this video. It's Afghanistan versus South Africa tomorrow at Karachi. Third match of the ICC Champions Trophy 2025. Sit back and enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Have a good night. Bye-bye.